I started smoking pot when I was a sophomore in high school, at least habitually. And I think I was really pretending that I got high. And so, that was an experience of its own. And then the first time I actually got high, I was like, we had slid down this like hill to smoke in like this creek bed or whatever. And like we had smoked there, and I was with two girls that were like older than me, and I like was like ripped, like I was seriously stoned out of my gourd. And they were like, okay, now it's time to climb back up the hill. And I was like, Alyssa, wake up. Alyssa, wake up. Like, I like didn't think that I was in reality. And I was like, so ridiculous. Like, we went to Wendy's to go get Frosties. And I was like, out of control. Don't sweat all the small shit. Just like, fuck it, you know? Just get high and like, you like rediscover the beauty in your surroundings and shit. And that's, that's certainly why I smoke, especially being an art major. And I start drinking usually as soon as I get out of class. That's like when it's most convenient. It's when I'm feeling it. And then I'll have to like pace myself. Mm-hmm. But it's been said that I turn into a pumpkin at midnight because I'm usually passed out by then. But if I pace myself, I can usually stretch it out till 2, 3 in the morning, and then that's when real ridiculous shit happens that I certainly cannot be held accountable for. What would you do if you didn't get fucked up, right? Mm-hmm. The first time I ever tripped was at Wakarusa, and I ate like 5 hits, and I saw fucking STS-9 for the first time ever. And like the first note started playing, like there was like a sea of glow sticks, and I like had tied myself to Brie with like a string because I was like, I'm gonna lose you. And then like my other friend was dressed up in this pink bunny costume, and I was like, follow the pink bunny. And I was just, like, tripping my balls off. And then we got pulled over on the way home. And I'd, like, bit open a glow stick and, like, spit it, like, all over my wife beater, like, all over the car. And the cop comes up to, like, the passenger side. And we, like, roll down the window. And he's like, license and registration, please. And I, like, started handing him, like, receipts from, like, Jiffy Lube. Like, the last time they got their oil changed and shit. And he's like, I don't need that. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'd, like, 3 cans of air duster on my feet. Like, I had a pipe underneath my thigh. I was like, we are so fucked. And then, like, my friend, like, reaches over and hands him, like, the shit he needs. And he's like, your tag light's out. Do you know what that means? And she was like, the light around the tag. And he was like, very good. And he fucking sent us on our way.
The first drug that I ever intook was alcohol. And I was 9 years old the first time I got drunk. Well, I mean, I don't know, it didn't seem that weird to me or even to my family, but, like, my brothers they were in high school at the time, and they would have parties at my house that were just ridiculous, and I would just go drink with them and go party with them. It's like while I was 9, and they loved me. On the weekends, I liked the whole, like, vibe of it, and I don't know, I got some of my other young friends into drinking, kind of a younger age. But then, first time I actually smoked, like, real good weed, it was, like, so natural to me to, like, do it. Like, it felt, like, natural to me.
All I do is smoke weed.
It made me really paranoid, though, for a while. But there's nothing wrong with that. It fucking keeps you safe. But that was really my thing until I got arrested. My parents called the cops. Or my mom called the cops on me. She thought I was, like, threatening her, but I was, like, having, like, an anxiety attack and, like, screaming. I was on, like, all sorts of meds back then, too. I'd been on, like, at least a dozen different prescriptions before I was 15. But, I mixed with those and being high. Because, like, there are some pills that you just should not, like, smoke weed with, like, different combinations. It can, like, fuck your shit up. But, once I got arrested, and I knew I couldn't really smoke weed, I still pretty much did. I didn't really give a fuck, even though I was on color code. But then I knew that I had to give a fuck. And, like, I tried finding, like, new ways. So, like, that was kind of my gateway drug, was probation. I started doing coke for a while. I hated it, but I still did it because it was easy to get it. And I don't know, for some reason I thought it was fun. Just like the activity of doing it. And like I did eat a lot, at least 15 times. Done mushrooms a lot, at least 10 times. I stopped. There was a long time where I stopped because I like had court shit and I went away to get better because I was insane. Like I was like at a point where I was like doing crazy shit, like drinking Listerine and like doing like crazy shit, like when I was on house arrest just so I could get fucked up. And then like I'd have to blow in the thing and they'd call me like, your alcohol level is like 12 point something. What'd you do? I was like, oh, it's gargled mouthwash. I like went to rehab. After like that point, I did air duster in my car and then crashed it while I was drunk.
So the first time I got drunk, let's see, I was in 7th grade and my best friend was having her parents' 25th wedding anniversary, and the bartender apparently left at 11 o'clock. So the adults thought that it would be funny if me and my 7th grade friend decided to bartend and see how horribly we messed up all the drinks. But instead, we decided to make double of the drinks that everyone ordered, and we ended up getting beyond what I know of as drunk. And then when we went home, I decided that drunkenness equals sexual liberation, so I decided to seduce my best friend, who is a female, and I am also a female, so this would also be my first lesbian encounter, you could say. And we ended up making out and going slightly further than that in my pit of dolls. So that was pretty interesting.
Okay, so like the 3rd or 4th time I did mushrooms, I guess, I fucking didn't really want to do them, but I was with one of my very, very good friends at that point in time, and her parents were out of town, so we had an empty house, and our dealer had just called and said that he'd just gotten them. So she was like, we should definitely trip tonight. And I was like, I don't have any money. But she was like, I'll pay for them. So I was like, fuck it, whatever, okay. So we go and we get them, and then we smoke a bowl of like mango nug. And this is like summer going into my senior year of high school. So I like didn't eat at all. So it didn't take like anything for me to get fucked up. So then we ate the mushrooms, and like 15 minutes later, I was, like, seeing shit. Like, the fastest I'd ever started tripping before. And it was just fucking crazy and, like, out of control. And then, like, at some point in time, I fell asleep for, like, a second. And then I woke up and forgot that I had eaten mushrooms. And I was tripping really, really hard at that point in time. So, everything was just fucked up. And then I thought I was dying and couldn't breathe. So I needed to, like, run out of my friend's house. And somehow, before I ran out of the house, I ended up naked. And I ran out of my very good friend's house, naked, screaming things into her neighbor's yard. And I started to scream her neighbor's name while naked in their front yard. And they came to the door, and then I told them to call the police, and they called the police. And the police showed up, and then I got very religious with the police, and they didn't like that, and they didn't answer any of my questions. And then I punched a cop, and then I got tackled and restrained and taken to the hospital and fucked by the law.